While researching modern and pauper lists, I found a combo deck that fits inside of Luris. Basking Broodscale Sadistic Glee is here in Vintage. All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to an off-stream video replacing my Saturday challenge. The reason we're replacing my Saturday challenge is I'm playing in my first tournament of the year, and it's not a Vintage tournament. I'm actually playing in the Boise's Sub-Regional Team Fight Tactics Tournament, basically once per set over there, or maybe twice per set. There is a amateur qualifier level event. I'm right usually on the cusp of being able to qualify for the pro level TFT events, but I'm not quite there yet, especially not this set after I was sidetracked a little by adventures in Europe. So I actually played day one on Friday. These are the craziest tournaments. If you're ever if you're a Magic player looking in on these tournaments, they're very low EV and they're very time consuming. It's a 3-day tournament, 6 rounds on Friday, 6 rounds on Saturday, and 7 rounds on Sunday. And there's cuts every so often. So there were 224 players yesterday. The top 95 players from yesterday made it to today, where they will add in the highest ranked challenger players from the ladder. Yesterday I had this is an 8-player free-for-all game. I went second, third, first, fourth, fifth, fourth, which is very, very good for 29th overall. I think it ended up being 30th overall, 35 points. So I'm playing this today, and unfortunately it runs concurrently with the Vintage Challenge. But do not worry, I have a sweet brew. It should be an exciting video. I played this first brew yesterday before the TFT tournament to a 4-1 finish, almost trophying. This is Broodscale combo. Some of you might recognize this from Pauper as well as from Modern. In Modern, Broodscale combos with Blade of the Blood Chief, as well as there's another artifact with 4 sagas. Blade says, when a creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on a equipped creature. A Broodscale says, whenever one or more counters are put on the Broodscale, you get an Eldrazi spawn that you can sacrifice for mana. So all you have to do is adapt or for a creature to die, and you get a spawn. And once you get a spawn, you can sack the spawn, and it gets a 1/1 counter, and then you just do it over and over again until you have infinite mana and an infinitely large Broodscale monitor. Malevolent Rumble is a card here that I have been trying to test for a long time because I think it's showing up very, very good results in other formats, and this is a format where it could be pretty good as well. Look at the top 4, put a permanent among them in your hand, and you get the Eldrazi. The rest go in your graveyard. This is a completely permanent-based combo deck with 3 combos, I should say. Vault Key, Broodscale, Blade of the Blood Chief, and of course, Broodscale Sadistic Glee. Same kind of idea as Blade of the Blood Chief. The big upside of Sadistic Glee instead of something like Blade of the Blood Chief is it costs 1 less, and it also doesn't get hit by Collector Roof. So I actually think Sadistic Glee is the better combo piece. And so we're going to play 3 combo pieces here today with, of course, Vampiric and Demonic and Malevolent Rumble to help them. Malevolent Rumble is a part of a series of very strong X1 and X spells that I think should see more play in Vintage. 1 and X is a very good casting class in Vintage because you can play it off of any color Moxen. So Malevolent Rumble, there's also Deadly Dispute, which is a card I was considering in this slot as well. It could still be that Deadly Dispute is correct. Deadly Dispute has the drawback of being an actual draw spell, so it gets hit by things like Bowmaster, which is actually very problematic, even though Deadly Dispute is probably a stronger spell. Unlucky Monkey plays Questing Druid. I've played tons and tons of different like Night's Whispers in the past, so Malevolent Rumble fits right into that spot, and that's one of the cards we're testing today. To make our Broodscale work, one of the things I tell people when they're brewing in Vintage is actually a very open space for brewing. However, you need to take your bad cards and surround them by working good card shells. You can't just put multiple synergy cards together and hope it works. Those kind of decks typically fail. And so what we've done here is we're surrounding our permanent base combo with Luris, because Luris synergizes extremely well with Rumble, the Graveyard, and 2 combo pieces that are both returnable. And then we need to try to outfit our deck with blue cards so that we can play Force of Will to give us a chance versus the field. I did try to build a version of this deck that had 4 collector roofs instead of psychic frogs, or maybe with psychic frogs, and tried to play more of a Lurrus Deathrite Shaman style deck. But you end up having blue count issues because Broodscale, Glee, and Blade are all non-blue. So what we did was we're going to play Psychic Frog and Lurrus and back it up with more of a full Moxen, Lorien Revealed kind of shell, similar to the old Lurrus Saga decks with powerful blue cards and Force of Will. We're going to see how that plays. Like I said, I was 4-0, pushing for the trophy, and then I got smashed by Dredge. Not even just 4-0, like 4-0, 8-0, just crushing people. So I have high hopes for this. The deck seems pretty reasonable, and we're going to play it out in Vintage League today. I did make some sideboard changes. I'm up to 4 jailers and 2 traps instead of 2 jailers and 1 trap, which was, yeah, it was disrespectful. And I very rightly lost to Dredge for my disrespect. The way this currently is situated, we might be a little bit too weak to Jewel, but we'll see. It's tough because you want to have your removal spells. These are going to be good against Mono White Initiative and Lurrus. Then you want to have some big Mono White Initiative hate spells like Virtue's Ruin. You want to have a ton of cards for Dredge because you just need a ton of cards to beat Dredge, but it's narrow because it only beats Dredge. And then you need cards to beat Jewel. And very nicely, Consigned Memory is good against Jewel and Doomsday, which is why it's probably one of the better sideboard cards in the format right now. That's where we're at. Let's play a Vintage League with Broodscale combo. I'm pretty excited. Hope you are too. All right. Yes, I know there's sometimes light on my face. Do not worry. It doesn't go in my eye. I'm sorry for the distraction. And now that I've told you that, I'm sorry if you didn't notice. I have a cat. Let's begin. Versus Shockwave. Shockwave used to be a prolific standstill player. Nowadays, Shockwave has adopted more principled deck listing. There's lots of Doomsday. This hand is quite poor against Doomsday, and even probably against Standstill. So let's try to mulligan here. This hand is better. Let's keep. I'm gonna go with the 1 land down. I like the idea of theoretically just throwing out some rumbles to start. We'll see. That's looking like Standstill to me. If it's Standstill, am I hitting this thing with a freaking force pitching Ancestral? That'd be very sad. If I kept the land instead of a second rumble, I would have put myself in a better spot for this. But it's not. It's a demonic tutor. So now we have to see. Malevolent Rumble does not hit very many blue permanents for what it's worth. It's just going to be Psychic Frog, which is something to keep in mind here. We're basically hitting lands, creatures, and Psychic Frogs with the Rumble. Because, I mean, we don't have that many. We do have auxiliary artifacts as well. So now I kind of like... I don't think this Flusterstorm will be able to catch their Ancestral. So I'm thinking I might as well use... it offensively here. Okay. All right, so now we have a different plan. Unfortunately, this mana situation does not work in my favor. Because if I get a green mana and I rumble, I can't play a frog. That is definitely unfortunate. But obviously, we're going to play a frog here. All right, so I have a force at least, and I have double frog backup, and then I have Malevolent Rumble to dig for our combo while our frogs draw aggro. Oh, wow, it's actually PO. Shit. If they're PO, I'm definitely punished for not holding up Flusterstorm, because Flusterstorm on PO here is quite good. If they do go for an Ancestral, though, then I'm fairly vindicated. This might mean that if they go for an Ancestral, I do still have to pitch a second frog instead. But I did not expect the Mox Opal will come down, but it makes sense. Makes sense. It is not Lurrus PO. It is, in fact, real PO. And that's really big right now. Lurrus PO had a great challenge yesterday. Looks like a third place from the Unlucky Rookie version, and then a first place from an Esper Frog version. Balance. All right, well, I definitely have to force this. If it gets forced back and I get left with one card, is it going to be Frog? Probably. So I think I'm gonna hit this pitch with Flusterstorm to it. All right, they have a land. They have a follow-up PO as well. They have a follow-up Jace the Mind Sculptor. All right, I should have assumed there would be a Jace the Mind Sculptor follow. I mean, I had to counter balance. It wasn't particularly close. So, Gush is an interesting one. It gives us a lot of versatility here. Especially because we're a little behind. By a little behind, I mean they have 6 mana and we have 2. And they have an active Planeswalker. That bounces our Psychic Frog again. So yeah, it looks like Boyavita had a ooh, what the frig? Are we getting standstilled? Ah, come on, man. We are getting Tinker standstilled, I guess. It's the only thing I can feel like you would Enlighten Tutor for here. Maybe you could Enlighten Tutor for an Urza Saga. It's pretty good too. They got Sensei's top. Interesting. All right. Sensei's top is pretty scary, but it's not like a I have to gush and counter it kind of thing. I'm not sure what I'm exactly trying to draw here. Probably Force of Will. So we can like counter their next interaction or payoff spell. Will I gush on my turn if I don't hit a land drop? Probably. I mean, I hope they don't have a Hull Breacher, I guess. Wow, those are certainly not good draws. So I'll probably go Saga Emerald. I guess this doesn't let me play another frog, but with the Jace about to hit 0, I feel like this sets me up for other things instead. Maybe not. Maybe this is just terrible because of how badly these hits were. Like, I can't hit Force off this, which makes it kind of shit. I hit a Broodscale, an Abrupt Decay, a Lorien, and a Bobble. I think I'd rather have another creature. All right. Now they get a spin. I still think we're losing this game, unfortunately. Even though my opponent cast like Enlightened Tutor, went behind, it's probably still bad for me. Broodscale also doesn't really do it because I kind of want to play construct tokens here, but all of my things are just too slow, so I don't know if it matters very much. What is this? Oh, mystical for Tinker, I assume, because balance is gone. Unless they have a Yogwill, then you could do Yogwill, balance, demonic tutor maybe. That's pretty sick. I guess balance would lose a land, but I would lose 6 cards in hand. Yeah, I mean, Yogwill probably is the play here. That's probably just worse than Tinker. Oh, wait, they got Yogwill. Wow, we're just getting destroyed by all restricted cards. Why would you balance Jace first? It gives you more options, but it means if you balance, I get to keep a card, and that means I get to Urza Saga. So I don't really like it that much. I was thinking like Yogwill, Yogwill, balance, replay land, demonic, then activate Jace. Sorry, I might not have enough mana. Yeah, I have enough mana to do all of that. I'm very confused because they did find the line. They went mystical Yogwill. Man, I miss playing these Tinker decks. They just have so many powerful plays. Like maybe not Enlightened Tutor, but like demonic balance, mystical Yogwill. Even if you're playing Jace instead of something like Narset, it's still pretty. They're just not going to Yogwill. That confuses me. I don't really understand that. All right. So I will attack Jace. I just get to kill Jace. What is happening? Demonic Tutor? Well, now I feel like I should use Demonic Tutor. Unfortunately, my mana situation, because if I hadn't gone Urza Saga, I would be in a lot better spot because I want to Demonic Tutor, but I can't Demonic Tutor and Fluster. But maybe Fluster just simply doesn't matter with this much mana. So if they do that, I guess I would rather just play a Malevolent Rumble. See if I can, like, if I hit a black, oh, I guess I can't hit a Black Lotus. I guess if I hit a Mox or a Lotus Petal, then I can DT for a Force and a Force Fluster. It's not too bad. Well, am I completely abandoning my hopes of comboing right now? I guess it's not really completely abandoned because I put the Glee into the yard with the Rumble, so my Lurrus brings it back later. But right now, I'm trying to focus on not dying. My opponent did literally tutor for Yogwill, so they didn't shuffle after Jace though, so they know what cards they have. All right, so I will force your Yogwill, and they will force back, and then I have Fluster now. Yeah, I feel like my opponent made a mistake. Maybe they wanted force backup, but by giving me a turn, I actually win this game now. Ah, that's a very interesting game. Like I can see why they would want to get force backup first, but I didn't have any counter spells, and now I have 2 counter spells. All right, so some kind of combo deck. I'm not actually sure any of our sideboard cards are any good. We didn't see Hull Breachers. Hitting artifacts is usually not great. No Rod's probably good, but I don't know how good it is exactly. They are a Mox Opal deck. Like No Rod hurts us, so I really only want to bring it in against Jewel where it's lights out. I guess even against Jewel, it's not like amazing here if they like go into a Worm Coil plan. Maybe this Null Rod is just like should just be like another consigned memory or a negation or something. Like a negation, at least if this was a negation, I'd at least have some cards to board in for this kind of matchup, right? These used to be negations, but I needed to put more Dredge hate in my sideboard to make it work. I'm gonna try running it back as it is, but this might I'm having trouble building a correct sideboard for this deck for whatever reason. So personal problem, I guess. It's a little bit of an awkward hand, but odd color Moxen, I'm down. Even have a nice like rumble time walk. All right, get the F6. All right, I'm now sustained. I'm ready, full focus. I remember someone yelling at me once. How could you eat on stream? Like, I'm a human. I got 24 hours in a day. I need to make sure I don't die. Try to mute it though. All right, mana vault. I'm thinking maybe I do need the null rod. Lorien revealed. All right, so I'm gonna go ruby. That's not a ruby, Justin. Emerald, jet, malevolent rumble. Ariza's saga. Man, I guess that certainly changes things. If I don't die, like this Urza Saga is winning the game with Time Vault. But Time Walk as well. I mean, I have to take Urza Saga. Definitely not thrilled by that. But because it goes to 2 next turn and then I Time Walk and then I play a Time Vault and it wins. So I feel like I have to take it. Even if I don't have Force right now. Like, the number one problem is if I get Tinkered. My opponent did not want to go in for a Tinker last game for whatever reason, but finding Urza Saga off of Malevolent Rumble is pretty sick. Sad I don't. This deck really, really wants 4 Urza Saga. Most brews that I put together want 4 Urza Saga. Really helps these decks that have like 1 mana artifact combo pieces. But we'll have to make it work without 4 Saga, unfortunately. All right, what do you got for me? Chase the Mind Sculptor. I can play Time Walk through Spell Pierce. They have their own Time Walk. Okay. Ah, man, I really wish I had blue mana so I could like brainstorm or something, but I had on-color Moxen with the other on-color Moxen. I feel not great about this spot, but it's definitely possible this spot is very good. Ah, Strip Mine. One of the many counters to Urza Saga. I am going to Lorien Revealed. And now they know my hand, but I think that's fine. Yeah, Strip Mine's real good there. It kind of disrupts my whole plans and leaves this card stranded. This is Lorien Revealed for... Oh, so it is Jace the Mind Sculptor. All right. All right. I kind of need a creature plus Time Walk here. It's very doable. I guess it's not very doable unless it's Broodscale. Because of my mana situation. But if it's Broodscale, I can do it. It's not Broodscale. All right. In that case, I'm pretty sure I just want to cast Time Walk. Get myself to a better mana situation. Maybe Brainstorm. It's kind of hard to creature combo through a Jace. All right. I'm going to cast this Brainstorm. Sadistic Glee land. That is so bad. I guess I am going to put 2 lands back. Is a land better than a Time Vault? Because what I'm going to do is buy Luris this turn and hold up Flusterstorm Misstep. Try to figure out if a land is better than a Time Vault. Probably is. It's probably the worst of the 2 lands to pick. One thing my deck does not have, which I am very sad about, is I have no Surveil lands. And I did that on purpose, even though last video I said most decks should be playing a single Surveil land at least. This deck is very much about playing a turn 1 spell off of a Mox, so I kind of feel like it's too much of a hamper to play a Surveil land in this one. Yeah, I keep getting turn 2 Jaced by my opponent, which is very on brand for my opponent as well. So with Luris, I've got a Ruby in the yard, and that's it. But maybe we can find some more things to go there. I don't know. I was surprised we got out of last game's sticky situation. I think they got kind of baited by the Jace the Mind Sculptor, finding them forced blue card. If they simply hadn't activated the Jace and gone for the line, it would have worked really well. I at least have Ancestral covered, but like, I don't know, every turn the Jace is in play, it's harder for me. I guess maybe once I start playing the Luris, the Jace will have to start minusing. I think I'm gonna fetch. Lotus Petal. Play it for Storm. All right, I got a cat. How does that make you feel? Resolvers. All right, I got a Ruby. Wish I had a Bauble or something. But I did put in a Vexing Bauble and a Mishra's Bauble to go with our cat. Funny enough, they actually combo kind of well with the other sword. It's like a blade. A blade? It might be called a sword. I don't remember what it's called. There's another sword that does a Blood Chief Ascension, or not Blood Chief, Blood Chief, Blade of the Blood Chief thing. It has like vigilance, but it triggers on artifacts as well, which is quite interesting. I was gonna play it if I played Deadly Dispute over Rumble, because Deadly Dispute gets treasures which you sacrifice and can hit artifacts, so quite nice. So they have a swords. I have a misstep. Now what? I mean, they always have a Jace, so like this isn't the end of the world. They don't have to fight over this. We should have this covered. These Flusterstorms have been quite good. I think I'm definitely going back to 2 Flusterstorms in my PO lists. Luris PO lists, maybe. They've been very helpful. All right. Pearl. So if he does not have a way to remove this Luris, this Chase is going to die. This Chase could have easily minused on Luris. If he wants to play around Flusterstorm, he can simply go to my upkeep and then hit swords. But I don't know if he'll do that. If he's got a creature, then he's probably fine no matter what. But yeah, so like if I had a sword here, it would give this I need to look it up so I'm not just like keep saying the word and whenever a creature dies. Oh, I can't Flusterstorm that. Oh man, that's so unfortunate. I'm struggling to find this sword that I said I would find. There's actually a lot of cards. I should not have done this search in particular, but now I feel like I have to finish the search. And we feel real stupid if it's not there by the end of the search. Oh no. Oh no. Justin. All right, let's let this Teferi resolve, I guess. I really hate the fact that this Teferi is the answer here and not like another Swords or something, but what can I really do about it here? I can't find it. I don't know why I can't find it. I don't see it. All right, I'll figure it out later. I'm sorry, I'm disassociating because of how badly this game is going. I did draw another creature, which is quite good here, but I am dead. I did that because I assume they don't have a force. I'm on this side quest while I'm getting destroyed by Chase the Mind Sculptor. Ah, Tyrion's Soul Cleaver. That is the one. Tarians. Equipped creature has vigilance whenever another creature or artifact enters the graveyard. Put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature. Equips for 2. So it kind of works pretty well with the fact that Luris is going to be buying back artifacts every turn. Things like just Bobble, Vexing Bobble, Lotus Petal. And it works well with Deadly Dispute, which has treasures. It does still work with Rumble because it's still sacrificing creatures, but they're going to lock me. Oh, and they're going to lock themselves. Oh, they're trying to save the Jace, but I have a frog. Don't understand. All right. I mean, I do have a Teferi that I have to kill as well. Oh, they just have an answer on the upkeep as well. They have upkeep balance. They have draw step balance. Oh, all right, get me out. This is too much fun for Shockwave. We can't let him have too much fun, or he'll get back to playing Jace the Mind Sculptors again. Upkeep balance. I've been I've been bested. I must say there are a lot of creatures in Vintage right now, and these Swords to Plowshares, big blue decks should have a pretty good time against all these creature decks. So, just a food for thought. Yeah. So for this build, I chose Blade of the Blood Sheaf because it equips for 1. I think equipping for 1 is more important, but like Vigilance and having a wider range is kind of interesting to me. So I made the executive decision that if we're trying Rumble, we'll play with the Blade, and if we're trying Deadly Dispute, then we'll play with the Soul Cleaver. All right, what do we got? I mean, I think I have to keep a force hand no matter what. So I definitely wish I had a Surveil land, but I guess if this was a Surveil land, I wouldn't be able to play the Broodscale on turn 1, or I would be able to play the Broodscale on turn 2 anyways. What is all these Moxen? Can we have a normal draw? Can we just have a normal draw? I'm gonna pitch this Lorien Field and try to get second force going. I mean, if they counter that, if they force back there, I just die. So, I did draw that. I think I would rather have a force and a saga going than play a frog here. It's kind of a tough choice because this Broodscale doesn't really do a lot, but it is scary. Also, might draw swords. But I think having a force for a second payoff spell seems like it makes the most sense. Don't want to get turn 2 Jace the Mind Sculpted again. Though they could have turn 1 Jace the Mind Sculpted me. These decks, you know, PO included, rely very heavily on drawing a lot of Moxen, and my opponent has done that to great effect. All 3 games has been multiple Moxen. Makes it very hard unless you have counters for all the payoffs. Which we might this time. So this Urza Saga is threatening a lethal attack with Blasting Root Wall when it completes, because it will get a Blade the Blood Chief. We'll equip Blade of the Blood Chief, and we will adapt our Broodscale, I should say. So there is a lethal threat happening in a few turns. Until then, we can actually just keep pumping, or we can make a Saga token at least. Don't think we'll be able to make a Saga token on the turn we want to combo, because we do need to have an additional 2 mana to make the 1/1 so that we can get the construct, the spawn, so we can sack the spawn and start comboing. That being said, if my opponent is going to swords the Broodscale or something like that, I don't think I would force it. Then I can just go down the path of make 2 constructs and hold up force. Think I would let them do that. I mean, he might Demonic Tutor for a strip mine here. I guess that would be bad for me. A best response would be draw a blue card, play a frog. I don't think I want to counter this Demonic Tutor. It can hit strip mine, but I don't think that's... I'd much rather my opponent go in on like a Tinker or an Ancestral or something so I can force it. Not strip mine. Tinker? Looks like Tinker. All right. That was what we wanted. If they force backup, they have force backup. We die. Malevolent Rumble. Is casting Malevolent Rumble better than... So if my Malevolent Rumble hits a Sadistic Glee, they die. So I do think it actually is better than a construct. I did not hit a Sadistic Glee. I did not even hit an artifact. Maybe I should have actually... Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's like too crazy, but... Because now if they have a removal spell, it's actually bad for me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably wrong. If I had hit a blade, they wouldn't die. So maybe there's just like not enough hits. A 2 of and 4 is probably just too little. And I want to have a construct. Yeah, that was bad. I got lost in the heat of the moment. Now though, I can make a construct and still go for a kill because I already have a spawn in play. So actually, it doesn't have an attacking construct this turn, but it's still not bad, right? Because I can still go make a construct, get a blade, play a C, equip the blade, and then sack the spawn. Yeah. Okay, so it's still not too bad. They have an opposition agent? Oh no, they were playing around Needle. I have a blade. Equip blade. As they have a swords. Okay. So if I draw a land next turn or a mana source, I can play this Lorien revealed. So I guess we just wait. They only have one card left in hand, and they've already used Tinker, so unless they draw like Yogg will, should be okay. I guess Jace the Mind Sculptor here is also quite bad for me. Payoff spell. Cataxium Probe. All right, show me your last secret. Is it Force? It is Force. All right, if it's Force, then I'd rather... Well, I'd kind of rather my Lurrus get countered, but I think I'd make him use the Force on this Lorian. I think that makes more sense. I don't know. I don't actually have anything looping with Lurrus, so maybe I should just buy Lurrus this turn and make them hold up mana again for the whole turn. Yeah, this was bad. I don't know why I did this. I should have just bought Lurrus, attacked. I bought Lurrus, equipped, and attacked. It was so much better play. I don't know why I did the play I did. I don't know. For some reason, I just like think that Lurrus is better here. Okay. I'm a genius. What can I say? I mean, that's why you would think Lurrus is better here, but I just didn't have it yet, which makes it kind of sus. Oh, I should have used the bobble. My bad. I definitely wish I knew the card in my opponent's hand. All right. Focus up. First game of the day. It happens. Merchant Scroll for Ancestral. It's not good. That's a hit. Man, oh, for Mystical Tutor, huh? Does that mean they have a Gataxian Probe? Oh, they're just going for the Yogg will kill on the next turn. That's crazy. I drew Fluster. I don't know if that's enough. So I've got blue, black, Lurrus. And then I want this thing to hit a Force. Then I have Force Fluster again. So attack first. All right. It doesn't look like... Oh, no. It doesn't look like taxing this Yogg will is enough, because then they just go for a Tinker or a Monastery Mentor. But if I let this go, and they go Jet, Pedal, and then they have this plus DT... I mean, Tinker might be fine if they only have Citadel. They might just go Mentor, though. Trying to see. Oh, I guess they have swords as well, hitting Lurrus. So they could go DT swords. That's fine, I think. I think I would rather just tax the 2 mana. Maybe it's not. Like, I could guarantee counter one of these, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would guarantee counter a non-mentor spell. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm playing very well. Could be totally right, though. All right, you have 3 mana. Oh, no, they have 4 mana to work with because they have land as well. Shit. So they can have Tinker and Mystical Tutor. They could have Swords and Tinker. They could have Mentor and Swords. They could have Mentor and Mystical Tutor. Lots of choices. Yogg will looks so good. Yogg will is a great card, chat. You got to play more Yogg wills. Especially when you play like these Tinker decks. It's so good in Tinker decks. Just being able to rebuy every powerful spell that got countered along the way. So now it's up to Shockwave to figure out what's the best line from the things we've said. Looking like Demonic. That's not a good sign, because that means there's something better than what's in the yard. Maybe just balance. Maybe goes lands balance, hit the 2 creatures. I mean, that's really good for me if that's the case. Trying to figure out like what you would want a demonic for here. I mean, it could just be demonic and then swords, the Luris, and mystical for something good as well. I don't know. I'm confused exactly to what you would demonic for here, because I think all of your best spells are kind of in your yard already. One thing that Flustering First does is it kind of takes away most of the mentor lines. It does leave you with like Mentor Sword, which is pretty good, but Mentor Swords would be pretty bad against Psychic Frog follow-up. Like the Luris, so either my opponent needs to combo kill me, or the Luris needs to be dealt with so I can't bobble. And they don't know what the cards in my hand are. All right, DT has happened. I assume we're... Oh, they DT'd for Tolarian to make 5 mana. So now Tinker and Merchant Scroll and Mystical are all on the table, including Tinker, Mystical, and Swords. Interesting. Okay, cool. Cool. Very interesting. You could also go Merchant Ancestral. Swords, Mystical, something. Don't know. They only have 9 life. If they have like a robot Tinker is good, but a Citadel Tinker is a little sus from this spot. Though they do have Mystical and Swords. So maybe a Tinker Citadel is fine from this spot, because you get to Mystical for the #1 card you want to cast, and then you get to Swords, the Luris anyways. Well, I mean, this is a very hard spot. It's not exactly straightforward, which is the best line from my opponent's side of the table. And I don't even know what's in the deck. There could be a lot of things going on in the deck. Like, there's a Volcanic Island in play. We've seen Teferi and Jace the Mind Sculptor, so... We haven't seen Tinker for anything other than... we've only seen Vault Key. Maybe he's looking for, like, a Tinker Vault Key line. I didn't see any Tinker Vault Key lines just because of how strained the mana was, but... So here comes Tinker. There is a Blightsteel. So you can Merchant for a Time Walk. Sorry, you can Mystical for a Time Walk is what I meant to say. Swords that and Mystical for a Time Walk. I don't have a way to remove a Blightsteel. I just need to threaten lethal through a Blightsteel. But I guess through Time Walk it's going to be basically impossible. Unless I find a force for the Time Walk. Man, I guess this is a line. It does seem pretty reasonable. Again, I didn't have to fluster when I did fluster, and it's possible flustering later would have been better, but they would have had a lot of mana. I'm not sure. If they like Merchant Gold for a blue card, they could force out of their yard. I think flustering in the beginning makes the most sense to me, but I guess I could be wrong. They put a Time Walk on the top of their library, so I need answers now. Black Lotus is not an answer. Yeah, I've invested. Because I can block with the Construct, and then I can get an attack with the Frog in if it wasn't Time Walk on top of the library. But with Time Walk, it's 22 in fact. Can't block all of that. And I don't have the cards I need to win. GG's. 4-color Tinker Jace the Mind Sculptor. Too strong. All right, that was a good battle in round 1. It was very close. Now we up against Mayhem DJ. We have not a turn 1 Frog. We don't have a force for possible jewels and stuff. I have to think this hand is just not good enough. This hand's definitely better. If I have to... I guess I can just pitch this Rumble, because my mana situation doesn't really encourage it. I'm always going to Lorien Revealed here, so I don't want to bobble first. Let's go get a Tropical Island. Let's go get a bobble and take a peek. I guess we could have peeked first. Oh, so we knew what we were playing against. Justin. My first hand would have been quite good against Sphere Resistance, so always worth noting. Our first hand would have definitely been pretty reasonable against Sphere Resistance. I'm going to cast Force on this pitching Gush so that my Frog always resolves this turn. That's my plan. The question will be, do we want a pedal in play or a pitchable to Frog? Probably in play. All right, can Workshop beat a Frog? Question mark. That is the question here. They have a full 7-card grip to beat a Frog. Ooh, Foundry Inspector, exciting. I wonder if we're playing against Fleshraker stuff. 2 Patchworks is a lot of Patchworks. Interesting. Sphere Resistance, Foundry Inspector, Patchwork. I don't think I want this Frog holding down the fort. Academy. Academy's really good. Does Academy play Luris here? Academy almost plays Luris here. All right, so I'm gonna jump the. Then I lose a bobble. No, I need the bobble. 1, 2, 3, and I get 2. I guess I could discard the Broodscale. Hop the Frog. I can always buy the Broodscale back. Oh, I guess I wouldn't be able to buy the Broodscale back if I hopped with it. Maybe I don't care about this bobble. Because, like... Yeah, maybe I don't care about this bobble. Mox is my best draw by a lot. Another Broodscale. All right. Buy Luris. I actually need this to play Luris, so I can't even play a blue scale this turn. All right. I'm going to hit for a bunch this turn. Hopefully we don't die. I really want to get a blue scale in play so I can threaten lethal. That's so bad for me. Okay. I guess it's not that bad for me, but it's pretty bad for me. What is this? That can't be good. Is this a Stonecoil Serpent? Uh-oh. That is, in fact, bad for me. I have seen a little bit of a rise in Aggro Shops decks recently. Don't know exactly why. I still think that this deck should theoretically be pretty reasonable against Luris, but... Alright, so I've got... This thing cannot get through a freaking Stonecoil Serpent ever. So what I do have is... I've got a Luris. And then I have green... Replay... Green... Asking Broodscale. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. But it is not looking good. Oh, I keep forgetting that this thing makes a mana, so it really only costs 1 mana. Oh, actually okay with a crawler here. Definitely need cards. Don't have a lot of time, though. Don't have, like, removal spells in the main that hit this either. 2 crawlers is too many crawlers. I'm looking pretty dead. My opponent is the Aggro of Shops in this game. I don't have, like, the best stuff. Like, I can't play Vigor in my deck because my deck doesn't actually have green creatures. These are devoid. I could play some Claims. I could play Flux and then board out Luris, which I don't really want to do. So I'm not really suited to beat this deck because it's not really a meta deck, but it is very powerful, of course. Workshop is still Workshop. Just Stonecoil? No, I'm about to say, I don't think that attack makes sense. This attack forces double blocks here. Because I am going to lose... Oh, I'm actually going to lose... I'm going to lose 4. So I'm going to have to block with Luris as well. Which means I can't win. I have to block with every... Well, maybe I could not block with Broodscale. If I just block here and here, then I still die. Okay, so I'm just dead from this spot. That's crazy. That is wild. These were not going to win me the game, so... All right, unfortunately, all I have is 4 push and 2 consign. It's not bad, honestly. 4 push, 2 consign is actually quite a lot. Dig Through Time I don't like. Gush I don't really like. Mental Misstep, Flusterstorm, Probe I don't like. Bobble on the play is fine. Keep this. And then in game 2, we'll take Bobble out and we'll put Gush back in probably. Maybe not. Gush is kind of worse on the draw too. It's a little unfortunate. Like Gush is weird because it is good against Wasteland, but it's like really awkward against, like, you need to keep your mana developed. So this is just missing a Broodscale. Yeah, I'm down. This can hit a land too. I feel like because my Moxen hit Malevolent Rumble here, that's fine. I have 4 Broodscales, which are great draws, and then lands are probably my next best. Malevolent Rumble. I hit a land. And a bunch of spells. Put a Blade of the Bloodchief in there. So I can make infinitely large Broodscale immediately. If I draw one. Which is probably good enough to win in most scenarios. We'll see. Sphere. I think I'm okay with a sphere from this spot. Prohibits my opponent a little bit, and then I've already put all my mana into play anyways. Malevolent Rumble Part 2. Using a green... I'm not going to be able to play whatever I hit anyways, so I guess we'll just play Malevolent Rumble. Bobble? Okay. I don't think I want to put Bobble in hand. Definitely want to hit the land drop. Bobble in the yard is great, though, for Luris. So we definitely hit our lands here. We're in a good spot that way. We have a force for a payoff from the opponent, and then we can buy a Luris at some point and do Luris Bobble loops. They're a little costly, but we can do it. We can also just, like, get a Luris, equip it with a Blade Chief, and make it a 5/4. Like, that's not a unreasonable thing to do as well. No matter what my opponent plays here, it's probably getting forced. Yeah, I don't actually need to force this because I have a Sadistically. It does give them additional mana, though. Yeah, I think I'm going to let that happen. Like, I don't actually think I care about a Blade of the Blood. Like, I have this Sadistically, so if they, like, name Blade, is that even that bad for me? Doesn't feel that bad for me. I drew another Sadistic. All right, drawing another Sadistically is not exactly what I was looking for. I have a Luris coming. Does mean, like, I have to do multiple things in one turn again. And this does give them an extra mana. So there's, like, a lot of downsides to not countering it. But I would really like to counter something that matters. I don't feel like a Patchwork matters, though. But if I counter nothing, then I'll be really stupid. It'll be stupid, right? All right, let's just counter a second Patchwork. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was just supposed to counter this. I mean, I think I'm pretty happy not countering the Sphere. All right, so Luris can come in for 4. Actually, I don't have double black mana. That is so bad for me. Did I do this to myself? No. Those are just I just hit lands, not fetches. Oh, okay. Well, now I might lose then. I didn't really think about the fact that I actually did not have the ability to play Luris. So I might just lose this then. Of course, the off-stream league I record is a 4-1, and this one's going to be an 0-5. Sounds about right. The second Sadistic Glee draw was extremely bad, and even the first Sadistic Glee draw was pretty bad. Oof. Double Sphere. Now we're looking at a point where things are just getting out of control. I don't really have great counterplay from there. Underground Sea is a good draw, though. So that does play Obluris. And then can I don't think I'm playing this Bobble because I want to hold these spawn tokens so I can make my Luris big with Glee. So what I might do next turn is take a hit, double Glee my Luris for 6 mana, and make it really big and try to lifelink out of this. Fuck. Please don't wasteland me. Oh, I guess they can just activate Inventor's Fair. No. Or maybe they're just playing a Stonecoil Serpent. Wow, we're just playing a big Stonecoil Serpent. I guess that kind of beats the Luris plan. Can I take 5 here? Can't take 5 here. I need to draw Fatal Push. I have to block one. That kind of ruins this does ruin my entire plan. So if I put 2 Glees on this, it can become a 5, 7, 7, 7, 6. It might not even actually block this Patrick Automaton. I'm pretty sure I'm dead. I have to Mishra's Bobble and hope to draw a Fatal Push. I need to see what my top card is first. It's not a Fatal Push. Okay. I will put a Glee on Aluris, but I think I'm just straight up dead from this spot, so. I regret lots of things in this game. I think the thing that I regret the most is, I don't know, if I didn't force a second Patrick, we'd already be dead. Maybe I just regret forcing the first sphere. No, I think like the sphere really slowed my opponent down. It's possible that the thing I regret the most is actually just not countering the Revoker, because if I had countered the Revoker, maybe it's all turned slower. Because they lose a mana? Maybe not. I don't have like the big payoffs that really beat up on shops though. I guess I could theoretically put a Hercules in my sideboard. I'm not sure a Hercules is like particularly good. Yeah, if I wanted to beat shops, a Hercules is probably my best choice because I am a combo deck. But again, like I don't think shops represents a big enough percentage of a metagame to actually have cards for it at the moment. And you do have Splash Over. Like the 4 Fatal Push and 2 Consign the Memories would be very good in this matchup. Like Fatal Push is the card we were looking for here to kill a Stonecoil Serpent, but wow, they tutored for Mystic Forge. All right, so if my opponent attacks, I can chump with a Spawn, and I could block a Revoker. Yeah, I mean, if they're not going to attack with Stonecoil, then I'll just block here. That's fine. I might not even have to do that. Yeah, pretty weak to a Stonecoil swing back, so maybe I just have to do that. All right, Bobble. What's my top card? My top card is Lorien revealed. That's not good enough. Fetch it away. Playing a second Glee doesn't actually do anything right now, so I'll just pass. I'm trying to draw a Fatal Push. That might not even win anyways, but all right, did draw the Fatal Push. Okay, I'm definitely glad I chump block, because now, like, I actually have good blocks. And this thing can become a 5/4 if I kill the Stonecoil Serpent. So there's some gameplay still. That's still fine, because it just means my thing costs 4. And I get Wastelanded, I still have enough, so... Oh boy. They're still playing spells off the top. Please stop. Maybe I just died at just Stonecliff. Just Patchwork Automaton. I actually can't kill a Patchwork Automaton with a Fatal Push now because it costs too much mana. It's pretty funny. Masticore as well. Well, maybe they make a bad attack. That's all I can hope for. That is not a bad attack. That is the correct attack. They have 2 pro multicolor creatures now, though. Yeah, I mean, Hercule's Recall would get me out of this. Momentarily, at least. I don't actually have a thing that kills this Masticore, right? I just have nothing in my deck that kills the Masticore, so I actually cannot beat the Masticore in any capacity. I mean, I can. I need like a Broodscale. I need them to not be able to kill a Broodscale and make an infinite Broodscale. I just get a Time Vault. Time Vault wins the game. I did not draw Time Vault. A Time Vault? I have been sitting here the entire time where Time Vault wins the game. I did lose both my tutors to Malevolent Rumbles, though. So there's a Broodscale. The problem is I am currently dead. All right, brutal showing. All right. See what we can do. I can't seem to find the way through, but let's see. What do we got? What do we got? We got nothing. We got nothing. Nada. Oh, it's Dredge. All right, well, see if my sideboard plans changed. Let's see if my sideboard plan change helps. Vexing Bauble. Combo. Give it a shot. It's not a good hand by any means, but... Uh-huh. I don't think I'm fast enough. Oh, F3, F3, F3! Oh, I did not get F3 fast enough either. It's okay. They're not casting another spell for the rest of the game anyways, so... Oh, I should save my 2 life while I can. I'm just dead. What? No upkeep activate? Oh, I'm gonna pay for this with my life. Oh, Justin, you needed a mental misstep because clearly they have a force as their last card. I mean, I'm still dead. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be able to beat like chump blockers here. I don't know. I'm just dead on the next activation, so I won't show them the brood scale. I'll just show them a frog, get the frog forced. I mean, that's my own fault. All right, I'm gonna concede because I can't actually win the game. The next turn, they just bizarre too deep and I die. So rather just not show them. But yeah, obviously I should mental misstep the thing so that they can't. I mean, maybe they force back. They probably don't force back because it's actually worse for them. But I have 4 jailers and 2 traps. It's crazy. My opponent's hand was force, bizarre, dredger, Icarid, mental misstep. Yep. Normal gaming. Volkey is definitely my way out here. I don't know if I can cut a land. Our deck is pretty light on land. I probably cut Lorien Revealed. Maybe I cut one of the slower cards, like a Rumble. Try this. Rumble doesn't get Jailer, but Rumble doesn't get Trap. I have a cat. See, I don't think my combo is good enough to keep this hand. Sadly. It's like a turn 3, and they have to have no blockers, right? So it's just not, I don't think it's good enough. I have all these Mox in my deck for a reason. Like if I had a Mox in my hand, turn 1 Broodscale, turn 2 Sadistic Glee plus Broodscale combo with a force backup, then I would keep it. Like if this Lorien Reveal was a Mox, then I think this hand actually is good enough on the play, especially. But I'm gonna mulligan, look for a hand with like turn 1 Jailer. Yeah. This one I think I'm gonna keep. Rumble hits enough cards here that are good. They kept 7? I'm just getting my butt kicked. So I hit a Broodscale and I missed on a trap. Oh, I guess Broodscale it might not be good enough because I don't have sufficient mana for it. Oh, I do have sufficient mana for it. Oh, I don't have sufficient mana for it. Oh, I do next turn. So I can play the Broodscale this turn, and then I can use this to play the Glee next turn. And I still have the spawn, because I have the spawn from the Rumble that I forgot about the Rumble. I think that's better. I can't get Force, so I guess I wait on this Bobble. Oh, I can hit Trap, though. Second Trap. Okay. All right. If my opponent has absolutely nothing, then we're fine. But if they have literal anything, then we lose. The Black Lotus Sadistic Glee combo hands are usually pretty good. Like, obviously, you can't win the game on turn 1 because I don't have, like, a Walking Ballista to go for the infinite mana with. But a lot of times you don't have the mana to do the combo all in one turn anyways. So, like, taking turn 1 to set up the combo and turn 2 to kill is usually fine. If I draw Force of Will here, it's my best possible draw. Enjoy Basking Broodscale. All right, well, I'm going to try. Is it enough? They have to have no forces of any kind, no mental misstep, no vigor, no nothing. No shoal, nothing. Yeah, shoal. So like normally this would be fine because I would just like get a Luris, get up another Broodscale, rebuy the Sadistically. Like against a normal deck, right? This is fine. But against Dredge, who has like a Gar Grave Troll in their yard, I'm just dead. I'm just straight up just dead. Oh. Well, they even dredged normally. Which kind of indicates another force, maybe. I'm not sure. Or it could just be a weird dredge. Oh, second Bazaar 7-card hand. My bad. My bad. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't ever winning this game, put it that way. But also, it's kind of rough. Yeah, I got nothing. Even a Vault Key next turn doesn't actually get me there. Because I don't have the mana for it. I'm dead. I'm very dead. Maybe they'll overdredge. And then I'll draw Ancestral. We just brought back the Ichard straight up to play around Rav Trap. Very nice. Dredge. We're just not activating Bazaars? Maybe they do still have Force. Wouldn't that be the only reason you don't activate the Bazaars here? Is because like you still have Force? Oh, Malevolent Rumble. Sick. All right. This is going very poorly. I wish I could. I'll just show off the 4-1 instead. I'll just act like I got the 4-1. All right. I am still trying to redeem this video. That is a good way to redeem the video. Good hand. You know, I deserve some more opening Ancestral hands, I think. Or is opening Ancestral even correct when I have Broodscale Rumble? Yeah, it's probably still open Ancestral. I mean, I might die. My opponent doesn't have a Luris, right? Could be another Dredger. They kept 7 cards, so that's how you know they're on Dredge. Okay, all right. Underground Sea Jet. Okay, not bad. Doomsday? Frog. Frog. Okay. On color frog. Does this feel more or... Does it feel worse when your opponent plays turn 1 Frog or when they play turn 1 Lavinia? I'm not sure. Like, turn 1 Lavinia would arguably be worse for me here. All right. So I'm going to cast Ancestral Recall targeting myself, even though it runs into negation. Okay. And then now I'm going to cast Malevolent Rumble. I'm in a decent spot so far here. I did not find any of my 3 other combo pieces, though. So I guess I will take a Broodscale. And then I will play the Broodscale. And I'll play a Bauble. I'll check out your top card. It's a Fatal Push! That's okay. I have the mental misstep. We're fine. No problem. All right. I mean, that was a really strong start. We had all the good cards. We did lose our Time Walk to a Malevolent Rumble, but we have winning capabilities on the next turn. I have a block so that my opponent doesn't draw a card. I guess they could theoretically... What? Dark Ritual? Is it like a Doomsday deck that has a frog in it? And a Fatal Push? Tempo Doomsday? Sure, looking like Tempo Doom. They don't have Force, though, so... I guess this will always make the frog jump. I mean, they could be scared about dying to a frog, to a lizard here. Might be Tempo Doomsday. 1 card left in hand after casting Doomsday. All right, I will force your Doomsday. Oh my god, my Bayou does not make Dig Through Time mana. Are they going to jump the frog? Oh, they're just going to attack. All right, I will just block. They still win with a Sadistic Glee, so... You have a final card, Ponder. Damn, they had the win. They had the Doomsday win after all of this. That's crazy. Because this would have just gotten a Gush Pile in 1. Crazy. But that's how it goes. Yeah, I can't let the Doomsday resolve. I think with a frog in play, even if I counter like the follow-up cantrip, it's still really bad for me, so... Alright, so Sadistic Glee does win on the spot by going Sadistic Glee plus Broodscale, activate and kill. Blue land is fine with Dig Through Time. Blood Chief does not win on the spot because I don't know how I use my Scion to block. Alright, blue land, Dig Through Time is fine. I hit Sadistic Glee, Abrupt Decay. Oh, man. My opponent has 1 card off of Ponder, which they shuffled for. They have an active frog who's going to get a hidden. So is it like Sadistic Glee, Abrupt Decay? I can't use the Abrupt Decay now. I wish I could take, like, Force, but I can't. So I guess I'm going to take Sadistic Glee. I could take Fluster. I can't hold up Fluster for this turn, though. So if they do have a Doomsday, they win the game on the spot. But on the next turn, I can have Fluster up. I'll take a Fluster, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if they have a Doomsday, they win because they can always hop the frog and then cast the Doomsday and then attack and get in, so... Alright, they attack with their frog first. They've already used a Fatal Push. Like, how many more Fatal Pushes can possibly be in their deck, right? Probe. Uh-oh. Is it enough? Lizard, please! Come on. I don't know. It looks pretty good. Ooh, ooh, we're going to my turn. I have a sadistic Glee. I guess a force is pretty decent here. Then I have to buy Luris. Spell Pierce. That doesn't beat me because I have Fluster. Oh, I used the wrong land though. Ah, Justin, this game is so bad. Oh, they have a Dark Ritual anyways. I mean, it's still really bad for me. I need to be like do something this turn. All right. Yeah, I really would have liked to play a Broodscale here. Oh, I guess I still have. Oh, this works out kind of well for me actually. That means it still kills on the next turn. All right, well, I have to dodge a Doomsday, but my opponent will have to leave back Frog, theoretically. I forgot that I would still be able to pay for Spell Piercer. I used the wrong land. I had to use this land so that I could still win if my Flusterstorm worked. Oh, they just drew Doomsday? Man. Yay. I don't know, I mean... Tempo Frog Doomsday, pretty good when you have the Mox Chat. Just gonna bring in these consigned memories. I'm not gonna bring in removal. Maybe I'll keep the Abrupt Decay though. And then what cards do I even want to take out though? I guess I could take out a land. And a Vamp, maybe. All right. I'm just getting bullied. Oh, another ancestral hand. Mm, 7-card Doomsday hand, though. Do I really have a chance? Do I even have a chance? Force. All right. Time Walk. I'm getting my ass kicked this league. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It's bad. Rumbles in the jungles. All right. Got a Broodscale. So next turn I have... Definitely have options to win the game. I do like how you play it, and it's a super looming threat that your opponent, like, kind of has to deal with, but kind of doesn't have to deal with. And it's very cheap. Like, you can play it on turn 1 very easily, and you're really pushing the pressure on the game. That being said, if my opponent has Dark Ritual Doomsday, I just die. They have two, I don't, what am I supposed to do, man? What am I supposed to do? Maybe they don't have another land? Maybe they don't have, like, a... I mean, all they have to have is, like, a Street Wraith into an Ancestral. My ancestral got forced, and then I didn't have a force, and then I died because Doomsday. All right, I'm going 05. It happens. Happens to the best of us. Had to start evening out this deck's win rate, you know? Chat. Why didn't I record the first stream? The first league was so good. The way this pile is turning out, there are some possibilities in which I do not immediately die. Like, I don't think a blue cantrip kills me, like a Ponder or a Preordain, depending on the cards in their hand. But I mean, if their hand is Ancestral Recall, then yeah, I die. So it was Force, Time Walk, Ancestral Mox, land? Yeah, I guess so. Fair enough. Too funny. How many frogs are in this deck? 4 frogs. Interesting. 1 push at least. 2 pushes. 2 pushes, 4 frogs. GG's. Okay, here we go. 5th and final round. Will I go 05? I had so much hope at the start of this. So much hope. Because I had a great league. Like, I cannot understate it. I had a phenomenal league. I crushed everyone except for Dredge. And now? Well, Red Loose plays some eccentric decks. I think, even though this hand is not very good, I am interested in playing it out, so. Like, I think just playing a frog on curve on the play against the Red Loose decks should be good. I could be wrong, though. We'll find out real quick if that's the case. I must say, my deck is full Moxen, and my opponents have had a lot more Moxen than I have. I definitely need to draw more Moxen to have solid performances with this deck. But I guess that's true of like what every single full Moxen deck needs to draw Moxen to be good. Like you're putting them in your deck, so that's like your whole deck, right? So my opponent's got swords off of a Pearl, it looks like. Which is why I kind of wanted to go for this little bit slower creature-based start here. No other thing here. So I can use the Blade of the Blood Chief to turn this to Larian Academy online and play another frog. My opponent now is going to get a little read on the Blade of the Blood Chief. Very unlikely that it gets countered or anything. I guess I could have a mental misstep and figure it's a combo piece and counter it. That's possible. It would be very bad for me, considering I need to play the Psychic Frog this turn, but... Something tells me this thing is important for a combo, but I have no effing clue. Oh, I love MTGO, man. No! It got negated. It also just makes 1 blue mana, so. That's too funny. Oh, they hit their land. That can't be good for me. Negation pitching Echoing Truth, a Red Loose classic. Oh, Justin, you are in trouble. Maybe I'm not in trouble. Maybe it's a nice, fair Swords of Plowshares deck. Brainstorm. I definitely have a Tolarian Academy that makes no mana at the moment, which I can't say is a good thing. So say this thing gets hit by another Swords of Plowshares. At that point, what am I doing with my life? Are we rumbling? Might be rumbling. Ah, man, I am just getting bullied this week. I'm just straight up getting bullied. Makes sense if you're gonna keep a Mox Emerald, Mox Pearl Go hand that you have Ancestral Force blue card swords. That makes sense to me. It's definitely the cards that allow for you to keep a kind of a hand that looks like this. Double swords. Man, maybe playing the Lurrus creature deck in the format that's very hostile to Lurrus creatures is not ideal. Oh, Tinker? Okay. All right. I'm going straight 05. I can make an infinite still, right? With a Black Lotus and a Malevolent Rumble, I can still make an infinite, so I will draw my card for turn. That's an Underground Sea. I'm going to start with a Brainstorm and see what happens. I think now I can't do anything because I would have to hit. I don't know what I would have to hit. Something really good. So I hit the Root Walla, but I'm just dead. All right. I'll probably show my opponent a little bit too much there, but that's okay. We're just gonna run this back for our last and final round. Going 05 was not in the cards. Like, I don't think this deck is an 05 deck. Trust me, I wouldn't make the video if I wouldn't record the league if I wasn't like confident that the deck had potential. But any deck can go 05, Justin. Don't go crazy about it. Simply going 05 means it's now a slightly lower than 50% win rate deck. So it's fine. It's fine. Like, we've had 0 turn 1 Broodscales, right? Like, I've cast 0 turn 1 Broodscales. That's part of the problem. If I can just, like, start the game with fetch land, Mox, Broodscale, untap. Okay, all right. I don't have a combo piece, but after seeing how many Swords of Plowshares my opponent cast that last turn, I'm definitely down for this. At least it's, like, super threatening, right? Like, this is... You are on the clock. You might die. All right, Broody boys. Broody boys. All right. I got creatures. I got fast mana. I'm ready. I guess you can kind of adapt this at any point. Because you always have the token that you can sack to it. A 1 mana creature draw, huh? You can do this at any time, so I can always attack here. They can't block. It's kind of sick. I will use this ability. That seems like a reading. All right. Swords! Not my broody boy. Corrupt Decay. I'm a little short on green sources in this hand, but... Soul Ring. Tinker? Come on, man. Oh, time on. I need to get playing Tinker decks again. Tinker is so broken. Maybe just some... I actually am thinking about... legitimately thinking about Esper PO or Esper Tinker for the upcoming showcase events, because having a combo deck with 4 Swords of Plowshares in the current metagame just makes a lot of sense. It's also one of the better Virtues Ruins decks for all the initiative gamers. So if he goes Tinker Blightsteel here, I have some game. Oh, they don't go Tinker Blightsteel here. So I have some game plan. So why wouldn't you go Tinker Citadel here? Maybe they don't have Tinker Citadel. Maybe they just want white sources so they can play Swords Plowshares. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like could be a good time. Interesting to untap the Soul Ring instead of untapping the Pearl. Guess that means they don't have a second Swords of Plowshares. Yep. All right. That's kind of an interesting draw, isn't it? Because this means I have the full mana, so I can go. I mean, it's a bit of a tell, but I can. Oh, I can't. I have too many colorless cards. Okay. Well, I guess I can adapt this thing, but yeah, I guess I should be like adapting these more often because simply getting a spawn is going to be always going to be enough. So I can just be adapting these come whenever. I'm kind of learning as I go all the little tips and tricks of this stuff. So the reason I had actually used the spawn was to hold up Abrupt Decay for this, but okay, that's fine. I wanted to hold up Abrupt Decay, but I wanted to put a Root Wallet in play because I want to be able to threaten lethal. I want to put a Frog in play because I want to be able to draw a card every turn, and I want to be able to hold up Abrupt Decay so that I don't die to Vault Key. But yeah, I wasn't able to do that because Pearl and Eldrazi are both colorless, and that means that I can't play all three of these cards. But I can still pump the root wall. I don't know. Let's see what cards do I draw. Vuxing Bauble for turn doesn't really do anything, and then Frog. Okay, but like maybe I need to be like super cautious buying lure. Like I think the play is probably just play Frog, hold up Decay. Well, then I can't buy Luris. It might just be play Frog, hold up Decay. All right. Either way, this was an 05. I don't know if my deck. It did look like an 05 besides the very first round. I did get kind of bodied. I do think this deck is not an 05 deck. This is a Force of Will deck. This is a full Moxen deck. This is a Psychic Frog deck. This is a Vault Key deck. At the very base level, like it has 7 bad cards in it. I'm not going to consider Rumble a bad card. I don't think Rumble is like the most amazing card, but it's like a cantripping permanent base combo engine. I think Rumble is like legitimately good. Like you have 7 bad cards in the deck, and they represent really powerful combos, and it just didn't work out. A lot of our games, like we need to have Force against Doomsday, and we just didn't have a Force versus Doomsday. You need to have Dredge Hate versus Dredge, and we just didn't have Dredge Hate, and they kept 7. Obviously the match with Shockwave was close. The match versus the Aggro Shops deck was not very close, but I think that's mostly just because I'm not really super suited for the matchup. Like I didn't really build the sideboard for it. Like you can make it much better. You can play Harkle's Recall, you can play Nature's Claims, you play all those things. That being said, like I think you can actually win the Aggro Shops matchup pretty reasonably. Like if you get Infinite Skies Broodscale, it should be fine. And then like Tinker, we just got tinkered on, so yeah, I don't know. It didn't work out this league, right? But I hope that doesn't dissuade people from being interested in trying decks like this. And like I said, I did have almost a trophy league with the league before. So there's something going on here, even if it's didn't show up in this video. I hope you still believe me. Maybe I'll play this again on stream at some point because it is really fun. I think being able to do the Broodscale Glee combo is actually quite good brain chemicals. But yeah. More vintage gameplay Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'll see you then.